what we have.
So I would encourage you to continue, and especially to try and find more
We
localities.
did. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin, but this is obvious, though. Please continue. Yeah, thank you. So, more questions. Monseigneur Marcello.
I don't know, it's a pertinent question, but this tool, the meaning of these tools, are only to be tools or also have something to represent art or represent something symbolic?
I think talking about symbols, it's at 3.3 million years old will be a stretch. No, they are basically functional. You know, they have an utility. The utility is to produce flex. So we don't have any evidence of symbolism at all, and I don't think we can really talk about that before maybe Homo erectus, Neanderthal, and we'll have a talk about this aspect tomorrow, I think. So no, I would love to, but this would be an even more criticized find probably if I was saying that this is the beginning of symbolism. There is also no evidence of pareidolia when we look at the tools. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's a bit boring, but they are tools. That's it.
Right, sorry. Don't be sorry, Sonia. But, well, I understand your answer, and I am afraid about Neanderthal. It's really too close to us. Well, I think, to answer Monsignor Marcello Sanchez-Arondo, that for me, making a new shape, creating a new shape, well, it's something else in the mind, something what you said. But it's difficult for a prehistorian with only some stones in the hands to say something like that. But I say something like that. Thank you very much. Yes, Elena.
Question?
Sorry, yes.
Was it me?
Thank you. It was very interesting to have some more details. I would like to underline the economic concept you've talked about, because it's very interesting. As you told, for more than 3 million years ago, this economic strategy by the raw material, as you called, elaborated the economy of the core, for example, because you showed some cores that was like tested, but also some cores very used. And I had a question, if you can develop, please, on the taphonomy, the traceology of the artifacts. You've said something that you tried, but there was a problem, or it's in progress, the work on the tools?
It was the time when I was talking about function. Yeah. So we are trying, of course, not only to know how these tools were made, but also what was the usage, how they were used. So we conducted 2 types of analysis. The first one is the residue analysis. So we're trying to look at edges, but also flat surfaces to see if we can find evidence of material, vegetal, bones, blood, skin, anything like that. We haven't found anything. Again, not surprising for the antiquity of the site. The second analysis we conducted was microwear analysis. So it's when you look under a microscope at the edges, and you look at the deformation of the edge. As you know, when you use a cutting tool, after you use it for several times, you leave some damage on the edge. So we were trying to identify also some of these damages that will show us that, if not on what material it was used, at least to show they were used at all, because we have absolutely no evidence of that. And so we have a couple of striation that makes us think that they were used, really.
You have macroscopic traces. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not absolutely fantastic. It's very difficult to see. And again, we don't have a lot of flakes, so it's also restricting what we can do with that. Yeah, so that's the only thing I can tell you about.
It's very nice because, as you told, now the function of the site is for napping, okay, for probably the consumption, but that you have to go further.
Yeah, we looked a lot at the percussion marks that we also have on cores, especially, and on the padding tools. And again, the traces, the marks we have fit well with the core being used as anvil or percussors, and not for the cores to have been used to smash bones to get access to marrow.
And this is also interesting because you've talked about, how do you say, sorry, with my English, when you do...
You can say it in French.
Oui, but for the others, successive task, for example, to take a hammer and after it became a core. It's very interesting also for the function of the seat and the time, because you have various activities, because you have reemployment, reuse of the block.
Yeah.
So that's
the multifunctionality
is very, very interesting.
Is something that we definitely have at Lomecri 3 and that we don't see necessarily very often during the older one.
Thank you.
Now, my question is quite close to Elena's. In terms of strategy, so you mentioned that you can locate the source material. What about the collecting strategy? If I have a project in mind, I will choose the cores by size, by weight, and by shape. If I compare what I find on the site or what you can reconstruct from those cores who formerly were anvils, etc., you have an idea of those 3 parameters. And if you compare with the candidate collecting areas, can you deduce something in terms of collecting strategy?
We have found a couple of sources for the raw materials where the hominins could have gone. So, of course, we're not saying it's the exact place where they've been because we don't know that, okay? But a couple of 100 meters from the site, we have conglomerates full of raw materials. So we studied them, we studied that, we sampled, and as you know, this was my PhD topic also for a more recent time period. So we sampled, we studied the morphologies of the raw materials, the dimension, the weight, the quality, also the different type of volcanic we had there, and we compared that with what obviously hominin had taken to the site. What is very obvious is that they could have selected smaller blocks for their cores, also for their hammerstones. Okay, and what is very clear is that they went for the medium one. They went for the large core, heavy cores, which also present an interesting thing I haven't described here, but natural striking platforms, natural angle for many of them. So this is what we can deduce, is there is no distance, to the raw material. They were next to it. This is also maybe a reason why they were staying there. at this site, but we have evidence of selection for quality and for morphologies and dimensions.
And do you have any idea when is the transition between the anvil and the core?
The transition
So
in...
I have an anvil, a broken anvil. When do I decide it will become a core? Metrically, of course there is a limit.
Mm-hmm. So we have two kind of, so at the site we have huge anvils, very heavy, 10, 12 kilograms, the one I showed, very big. These definitely were used as anvil, and you can't even try to produce flex from them, okay? Even using, I don't know, the throwing technique or whatever, because the raw materials are very coarse and very bad, not appropriate for flaking. So these are definitely anvil. But the cores is a second category of artifact. Not all of them, but some of them have been used also as percussor or anvils, but they are in dimension much smaller than the one that have been used on anvil uniquely. I don't know if I'm clear.
No.
Yeah?
I just wanted to ask
Yeah.
if there was a systematic...
Yeah.
D'autres questions? Other questions? More questions? Oui.
Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. I have a question because I not very well understand the difference of this assemblage and Oldowayan. Why did you create a new culture? Because the assemblage you have shown us, I've seen this kind of tools in Cadagona, and I don't understand.
Yes, that's a very good question. So I'm not this kind of person who's going to want to create, every time I find a site, a culture. We have this problem by the past with different typologies, sites, especially in France, that are named specifically for the industry that people find at this site. So that's absolutely not what I'm trying to do. I would respond first that if we had not done it, someone else would have probably done it. So we wanted to be the first one to create the Lomecrian to be sure that we could do it. Joke aside, there are a lot of differences between the older one and the Lomecrian, which for us, after a lot of debates, needed to create a new culture, Lomecrian. Again, only one site. So yes, it's difficult to talk about a culture. We have no idea if the Lomecrian is going to continue after 3.3, before, after 3.3, no idea. But the antiquity of the Lomecrian, 700,000 years older than the older one, it's a huge gap. So the other option would have been to push back the origin of the older one. Okay, that was an option, and we thought about it. The fact that the techniques are very different. We have different hominins probably operating, creating flex with very different technique, bipolar and passive, which are not techniques that we see very often during the older one. Then the characteristic, the morpho-dimensional characteristic of the artifacts, also very different from the older one. So all this reason, and the multifunctionality, also the different tasks used for only one object, all that are things that made us created the Lomecrian.
Thank you.
Merci. Any more questions? Well, thank you very much. It was, everybody knows that, a fantastic discovery, unexpected discovery, especially in front of official science, I mean. Official science since many years was saying 2.6, like a sort of holy date. no more than 2.6. And then 3.3, beautiful step. But just a remark, don't worry about the gaps. We're working really seriously working in Eastern Africa since 50 years, 60 years. What is that? Look at the square meters that you excavate among this quite large area of Eastern Africa. So I have never been impressed by the gaps. And for a geologist, a gap of 700,000 years is just nothing. So all hope is expected. Merci. So if there is no more question, there is a cut for coffee, a break for coffee. If anyone wants coffee or tea or anyone else.